After centuries of peace, the war drums sound once more. Two dwarven expeditionary forces encounter each other on long-forgotten edges of their ancient empires. A game in play may look something like this after a few turns. The caverns are laid out in a square grid and stacked into towers 1 tunnel length apart from center to center. The cavern cards indicate ownership of the caverns. These are the 5 caverns required for the tutorial. 2-player bases, Toad Hall, Sewers, and Lucius's Lair. These are the piece positions on a cavern. The tunnel entrances, of which there are 2 types. Horizontal tunnel entrances, which connect caverns to different towers. They can connect horizontally up or down 1 level. And vertical tunnel entrances, which can connect only to the cavern directly above. The other end connects to a horizontal tunnel position in the upper cavern. We also have the resourcing positions, the fungus farm. This is what it looks like planted. And the mines. These are used for digging gems. It is a 2-step procedure. First, dig a mine shaft, then mine a gem. These are the unit camps where the units start each turn. Each can hold 2 units of the same color. And finally, the cavern center where the battles are fought. The player base also has gem storage positions. The players keep the gems they have mined and not yet used here. This is the initiative token, which indicates which player goes first. It switches players at the end of the turn. We will now set up the game for the tutorial. This is the initial setup. Each player takes 1 player-based cavern card and places the bases in front of them, with room for 1 additional cavern. There are 4 phases in a game turn: raise units, commit, resolve combat, and decommit units. In the first phase, raise units, we calculate the total unit capacity for each side and then give each player his additional units, or take away ones he can no longer feed. The green player goes first. He gets 2 units for controlling his base, and he places them on the unit camp. Then the yellow player does the same thing. We now move on to the commit phase, during which the players take turns committing their units to different actions. Green player has the initiative token, so he goes first, and he is going to plant a fungus farm. By placing a fungus farm token on the fungus farm position and moving the green unit from the unit camp to the fungus farm he just planted. The yellow player will do the same. Fungus farms sustain more units in the field. He gets 1 for each. It is now the green player's turn again, and he will tunnel up. Tunneling up is easy and takes only 1 action. He starts by selecting the cavern card from the top of the deck and selects the chosen cavern from those out of play, and puts it in the tower directly above the cavern he is tunneling from. The alignment of the cavern is at the player's discretion. He places a tunnel from the vertical tunnel position to any horizontal tunnel position in the new cavern. Finally, he moves his unit under the tunnel end in Sewers and takes the cavern card. Yellow will have his second unit dig a mine shaft. He places a mine shaft on the mine position and places a unit on top of it. The next phase is the combat phase, but there is no combat this turn. So we move on to the decommit units phase. In the 4th and final phase of the turn, the players decommit their units back onto unit camps. Place the green unit in his base from the fungus farm back onto the unit camp. Place both yellow units back onto their unit camps in the yellow player base. And place the green unit under the tunnel end onto the unit camp in Sewers. He could also have chosen to decommit back to his base. In turn 2, we will demonstrate the new features: mining a gem, casting a haste spell, and starting a horizontal tunnel. Begin by moving the initiative token to the other player. In the raise units phase, yellow gets 2 units for the player base and 1 unit for the fungus farm planted in his base. This gives him a total unit capacity of 3. He has 2 units in play, so he gets 1 new unit. The green player is the same. All new units always go into the respective bases of the players. Yellow goes first. As his first action, he will mine a gem. This is the second step in the gem mining process. Remove the mine shaft token from the mine position and move a yellow unit from the unit camp to it. Place a gem token on the gem storage position in the yellow player base. The green player will start a horizontal tunnel. Tunneling horizontally requires two actions. Place a green unit from the unit camp on the horizontal tunnel position, and place both tunnel ends on top of it. The yellow player will dig a mine shaft. The green player will also dig a mine shaft. The yellow player will now start a horizontal tunnel. And the yellow player will also cast a haste spell. The haste spell costs 1 gem. It has the effect of immediately decommitting a unit, so that unit may now perform another action this turn. Place the yellow unit that just dug a tunnel back on the unit camp in the yellow player base. Move the gem token from the gem storage position on top of the unit. The green unit in sewers plants a fungus farm. The yellow player completes the horizontal tunnel. This tunnel may perform another action because it is on the unit camp. Because it now has a gem on it, it may not cast another spell. He selects a cavern card and places the Toad Hall between the green and yellow player bases. There is still no combat this turn. In the decommit phase, the green player decommits both units to his base, as does the yellow player. The green player decommits sewers, and the yellow player decommits Toad Hall. At this point, remove the gem and place it out of play. In turn 3, we demonstrate Cast Fireball. Start by switching the initiative token. The green player now has a unit capacity of 4, so he gets 1 new unit, but the yellow player still has a unit capacity of 3, so he gets no new units. In the turn 3 commit unit phase, the green player now goes first and completes a tunnel to the Toad Hall. The yellow player tunnels up to Lucius's lair. The green player attacks Toad Hall. Attacking is accomplished by moving onto the cavern center. A unit may move up to 5 steps in an action. Tunnel ends and the cavern centers count as steps. The yellow player mines a gem and uses it to cast a fireball at the green unit in Toad Hall. The fireball will kill 1 unit from every player on the target position, but green is there alone. Place a gem token on the yellow unit in Toad Hall and remove the green unit from play. The green player will mine a gem in his base. The yellow player will plant a fungus farm in Toad Hall. It does not matter which of the 4 fungus farm positions the player chooses. The green player will dig a mine shaft in sewers. The yellow player is done, so the green player continues and casts a haste spell on the unit in sewers, and uses the unit to plant another fungus farm. Thanks to the fireball, we still have no combat this turn. First, we decommit all the non-contended caverns. This can be done simultaneously. For green, that's his base and sewers. For yellow, that's his base and Lucius's lair. Then we decommit the contended cavern Toad Hall. The cavern is owned by the yellow player, so he goes first and places his unit on the unit camp. Since there is only 1 unit camp in Toad Hall and it is already occupied, green is forced to retreat. The unit may only move 2 steps to find a safe cavern. We switch the initiative token first. The yellow player has a unit capacity of 4 and has 3 units in play, so he gets 1 new unit. The green player has a unit capacity of 5 and has 3 units in play, so he gets 2 new units. The yellow player plants another fungus farm in Toad Hall. The green player digs a mine shaft in his base. The yellow player defends Toad Hall because he expects an attack. The green player attacks Toad Hall. The yellow player defends Toad Hall. The green player attacks Toad Hall again. With his last unit, yellow supports Toad Hall from Lucius's lair. This move requires all 5 movement steps. The green player mines a gem in sewers. The yellow player is all done. So the green player mines a gem in his base and now has a total of 2 gems. Finally, some combat. It is Dwarf War, after all. We now have a battle to resolve, which is the third phase of the turn. First, calculate the battle strength of both sides. Green has 2 units on the cavern center, each of which is worth 8. Yellow has 2 units on the cavern center, also worth 8, as well as 1 unit on the tunnel end in Toad Hall, which provides 4 points of in-cavern support for a total of 20. Yellow wins, and with a 4-point difference, making this a minor victory, which means both players lose a unit and the winner gets the cavern card. In this case, yellow already has it. So now we decommit the non-contended caverns. And then we decommit the contended cavern. Yellow owns the cavern, so he decommits first and fills the unit camp. He then retreats his 3rd unit back to his base. The surviving green unit also retreats to his base. Because Lucius's lair is no longer occupied, return the cavern card to the deck. Start turn 5 by switching the initiative token. The green player has a unit capacity of 5, so he gets 1 new unit. The yellow player has a unit capacity of 5, so he gets 2 new units. Green starts by casting a fireball. It has a range of 3 and therefore target a yellow unit in Toad Hall. As an action, the green player will attack Toad Hall. The yellow player will defend Toad Hall. The green player will attack Toad Hall again. The yellow player will now defend Toad Hall from his base. The green player is going to support the battle in Toad Hall, but must do so from the tunnel end because the total number of units allowed per player on the cavern center is equal to the unit capacity of the cavern. In this case, 2 units because there is only 1 unit camp. The yellow player will also support the battle in Toad Hall. The green player will support the battle with a 2nd unit. Each tunnel end can hold a maximum of 2 units. As well, the green player will cast a fireball on the supporting yellow unit. The yellow player will also support the battle with his last unit. Finally, the green player will dig a mine shaft in sewers. The battle strength of the green is 24. The battle strength of yellow is 20. Green achieves a minor victory. Remove 1 unit from both sides, and the cavern card goes to the green player. Both players decommit their non-contended caverns. Green now owns Toad Hall, so he decommits to the unit camp there, and yellow must retreat. Turn 6 starts by switching the initiative token to the yellow player. Yellow has a unit capacity of 3, so gets 1 new unit. Green has a unit capacity of 7 because he took over Toad Hall last turn and can now count those fungus farms as his own, so he gets 3 new units. Yellow begins the commit phase by defending his base. The green player mines a gem in sewers. The yellow player defends his base with a second unit. The green player will now attack the yellow player's base and cast a fireball on the yellow unit on the unit camp. Yellow is now done. Green will press the attack on the yellow player's base. Next, he will dig a mine shaft in his base. And with his next action will mine the gem. With the gem, he casts a fireball on the cavern center in the yellow player's base. There is a friendly fire kill here since the fireball kills one unit from both sides. For his last two actions, the green player will support the attack on the yellow player's base and ensure his victory. If we now resolve the combat, green has a total battle strength of 16. Yellow has 8. This results in a victory. Yellow loses his remaining unit, and green wins.